Well spotted.
Good job, we did that.
Good
Thank you, Paul.
spotting. Well done, Paul.
Well done, Paul.
You
Right.
missed your intellectual banter.
Yeah. Right. Lol's having problems with his computer. So, Ron, can you
Yeah.
to your piece, please?
Yeah, certainly.
He's doing it
Right.
in slow motion.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Great song.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Yes, Lol.
I've got a new, just as a matter of interest, I've got a new pad, but I haven't put some on it yet. So my quality of sound might go up when I manage to get Zoom on it. Right. I've picked Chariots of Fire, but before I start, I want to apologise to Chris for dropping him in it last week at short notice.
Oh, no problem, mate. No,
Believe it or not, I had to go to work. Very strange, but I did have to go to work.
Not a valid
Work. Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody actually paid me for a few days' work.
no, not a valid
Right.
reason. That's not a
I
valid
picked
reason.
Chariots of Fire. Not a valid reason.
No.
I could have given you a talk on how to build a three-piece suite. That would have been an alternative.
Okay.
I picked Chariots of Fire not only because it's a sports film, but I also believe it's one of the best films ever made. Certainly British films. It was ranked 19th in the all-time British films. I'm not quite sure what were the first 18, but Chariots of Fire became 19.
Yeah.
Final
Yeah.
test. Final test.
Old Mother Riley.
Or something like Carry On Behind, yeah. Right. No, it's an excellent film. It was made in 1981. Sorry, I keep looking away, but I'm checking the facts. It was, and it's based on a true story, as you probably all know, about the 1924 Olympics and the achievements of Eric Liddell and Harold Abrahams. In film terms, it was produced by David Putnam, well-known British producer, written by Colin Welland. If anybody can go back to Z Cars, I'm sure you all can. Colin Welland was in Z Cars, and it had
Kaz.
not counting the two main characters, Abrahams and Liddell, who were played by Ben Cross and Ian Charleston, who were relatively unknown at the time. He had quite a star-studded cast: Nigel Havers, Ian Holm, Lindsay Anderson, John Gielgud, Gerald Campbell. So it was a film with very high production values and an excellent cast and a convoluted story, an involved story. Either one of them on their own would have been simple, but put them together, it was quite convoluted. It won 4 Oscars. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Now, considering it's the Academy Awards and this was a British picture, that is a remarkable achievement. Unfortunately, the last test wouldn't have won an Oscar because the Americans wouldn't have understood cricket, but at least they at least it was a sport they could understand. What's even more remarkable about winning the Oscar from the Americans' point of view is the runner-up in all the events were Americans. The Americans don't like anything that doesn't show them at their absolute best, especially sporting films. So it's quite remarkable. It also won Oscar for Best Screenplay, Best Costume Design, and also Best Music. And if anybody can remember, the music, Chariots of Fire, was recorded by Vangelis. And yeah, Vangelis.
John and Vangelis.
One word, by the way, not two. Yeah, he's a Greek electronic musician. And there's the classic scene in the film where they're training and they're all running along the beach, getting covered in sand and rubbish. Be careful what we say, we're recording now. And the music is playing in the background. One of the iconic scenes of British cinema. The title, anybody know why they call it Chariots of Fire?
It's from
No.
the hymn, isn't it?
Yeah, William
Yeah,
Blake.
comes from the hymn,
Yeah.
Jerusalem.
Yeah.
It actually comes from a poem by William Blake. Hang on, I've got to quote this. I can't remember this. Bring me my chariots of fire, which was adapted into Jerusalem. And it originally comes from Kings chapter 2, verse 11 in the Bible. I definitely had to read that. Quite why it's called Chariots of Fire, I'm not sure. It's apart from the fact that you're talking about two men who could run very fast, I'm not sure. The film's plot is, say, simple and convoluted. It's about two men preparing for the Olympics and how they get there. What's the underlying story is more complicated. It's about one person running for his faith. Eric Liddell was a devout Christian, ended up as a missionary. I'll talk more. I've got a bit about each of them as individuals later on rather than just the film. And there's the classic story that he would not run on a Sunday. The other one, Harold Abrahams, is about overcoming prejudice. Harold Abrahams was a Jew and he was at university at Cambridge, and despite being a good academic scholar, a fine athlete winning a blue, he was still discriminated against because of his background and his religion. The other thing that it's, I think, shows very well is why Britain never won many gold medals in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Because if you remember the film, Ian Holm plays, and if I can remember his name, yeah, well, yeah, even 60s and 70s, yeah, I've forgotten his name. Oh, plays a character called Sam Musabini. Sam Musabini was a professional athletics coach. And Harold Abrahams, having lost in a race to Eric Liddell, the only time they ever raced against one another, was approached by this Sam Musabini, who said, I can make you a better athlete. and Harold Abrahams employed him. It's all in the film, but it's also true. Employed him to coach him, to run better running style, etc. This was frowned upon by the Olympics committee. Gentlemen do not use professionals, was, I think it's a quote in the line, but was the attitude. And Sam Musabini was not allowed in the stadium to actually watch Harold Abrahams run and win his gold medal. And in the film, there's another marvelous scene where Ian Holm is stood outside the Olympic theatre, the stadium in Paris, and he hears the cheers and he hears the national anthem being played, God Save the Queen. Bit of dramatic license there, but that's the time, that's how he knows Harold Abrahams has won his medal, because he's not allowed in to look at it. Couldn't be a true story, because they don't play the national anthem until they give them the medals, and they don't give them the medals immediately after the race. It signifies what the film was about in terms of the prejudice to Abrahams, both over his professionalism, and by that I mean professional approach, not he took money, and for his religion. There's also the undercurrent of the words gone. The undercurrent of people not being true, ambiguity. These were all true, good, honest Christian men. But when Eric Liddell said, I cannot run on God's day on a Sunday, they spent a life trying to persuade him, which included the Prince of Wales, who was one of the people who tried to persuade him. The film goes on to show how Liddell basically switches events. Nigel Havers, who's running the 400 metres, says, I've got my medal, let him run for me in the 400 metres. Didn't stand a chance, of course. He was a 100 metre runner. Didn't stand a chance and won.
Ron,
Abrahams had run very badly in the two. Yeah.
Let me stop you there,
Yeah.
because we're less than a minute. So come back
Right.
and continue after the break. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right.